Hello everyone, welcome to Lukmaan IAS. Today we are going to have the Hindu newspaper analysis dated 15th of September 2023. In today's newspaper discussion, we are going to cover those topics that are important from the UPSC prelims and mains point of view. So these are the list of articles that we have identified for today's discussion. Okay, apart from this, we are going to take into account these topics also. So in all, we are going to discuss about 9 articles. And from today, we are making a short change in the way we are conducting the Hindu newspaper analysis. Since prelims exam is coming, so I have thought of taking at least one, let's say, map-based topic in the beginning of the lecture. Okay, means like today there are 2-3 topics that are based on maps, but so every day in the beginning of the lecture we are going to conduct one map based discussion. Okay, so that will be helpful for the prelims exam. And apart from this, we are going to cover other areas in a way that we have been covering. So thank you so much for joining. So I think Shri Shah has joined. All right, so this is the first topic that we are going to start, okay, with. So this is a map based question, geography and mapping related topic. Okay, so today I have just included the topic to discuss, but later on we will also include the, let's say, map based topic, and also we will give some questions. We will practice questions on them also. So this is the first topic that says Russia claims Ukrainian drones destroyed in Crimea, Black Sea. Okay, so this map is based on this topic, which was there in page number 18 of the Hindu newspaper. So here Russia has recently made a claim that it has destroyed some of the unmanned aerial vehicles, or some of the drones where in Black Sea and Crimea. Okay, so Crimea is a region that that Russia has annexed. So under international law, right, annexation means adding a territory. For example, let's say this is the territory of Russia earlier, right? And if Russia overtakes certain other territory, let's say this is additional territory that it overtakes, let's say for example this is Crimea. All right, so this also becomes part of Russia. Now Russia will be having this much area, let's say. Okay, this annexation means adding territory. Okay, annexation means adding territory, to your existing territory to enlarge it. Okay, so historically there have been various warfares between kingdoms. Why? Because a powerful king always wanted to acquire more areas, and that's how, let's say, they have been expanding their kingdom. So Russia has also annexed a territory which is Crimea, and it has added that to its part. Okay, and also they have mentioned about Black Sea, right? So on Black Sea they have destroyed some of the things. So what is important for us to prepare for exam is the map of Crimea and Black Sea. Okay, so map of Crimea you see, right, in your free time. So Crimea is a region which is, let's say, towards the south portion of Russia that it has annexed for its purposes. But we are going to look into the Black Sea region. So this is the area, Black Sea. I mean, this particular location is in the northern hemisphere. Okay, let's say this is the globe, this is the equator, and to the northern hemisphere we have these regions. Okay, we have Russia to the, let's say, west of Russia, this particular region is there. So what are the names of the countries that are surrounding Black Sea? Okay, so there are 6 countries that surrounds Black Sea, that has a border with the Black Sea. Okay, these borders are known as what? Coastal boundaries. Okay, so 6 countries have coastal boundaries. Number 1 country is Turkey. Okay, this is Turkey. It has coastal boundary with Black Sea. Number 2 is Bulgaria. Okay, this is Bulgaria. Number 3 is Romania. Okay, Romania also has coastline with Black Sea. Then number 4 is Ukraine. Okay, Ukraine, it has coastal borders with what? Black Sea. Then we have Russia. Russia has coastal border with Black Sea. This is 5th. And then 6th, we have Georgia. Okay, we have Georgia. It also has this thing with, let's say, coastal borders with Black Sea. So one thing we need to remember, the name of the countries that has borders with Black Sea. So 6 countries: Turkey, Bulgaria, Romania, Ukraine, Russia, Georgia. How you can remember? Remember 3 of them in one go, then remember rest of the 3 in one go. Okay, means like you need to learn it. Russia, Bulgaria, Romania, say it 2-3 times. Then Ukraine, Turkey, Bulgaria, Romania, then Ukraine, Russia, Georgia. If you repeat it, let's say this manner, half of them for 2-3 times, half of them for 2-3 times, you will be able to remember them. It is important to remember them. And also, this now, if we talk about this particular sea, which is Black Sea, right? So, like, you know, surrounding Black Sea, we have some other regions also. One of the region is, like, you know, this is known as Kerch Strait. Okay, Kerch Strait here. Okay, Kerch Strait. So, what is a strait? In geography, strait is a narrow channel of water that connects two water bodies. For example, let's say this is narrow channel of water that connects Black Sea with Sea of Azov. Okay, means like narrow channel of water. I mean, like through that channel you can go from Black Sea to the Sea of Azov using, let's say, a boat. That is simply known as strait. So this is Strait of Kerch. Okay, this is known as Kerch Strait. What? Kerch Strait. So where is Kerch Strait located? It is located between Sea of Azov and Black Sea. This is also important to remember. This is the second factor we need to remember. First factor, name of countries that surround the Black Sea. Second factor, any other, let's say, like, you know, geographical feature. For example, is strait, Kerch Strait. Then also we have another strait over here, okay? And we have, let's say, Aegean Sea. This Aegean Sea is also connected with this, okay? This is like, you know, you need to remember Black Sea, Aegean Sea, Sea of Marmara, okay? So these seas, like if you need to remember how you can remember, for example, there are 5 seas that can be connected. One is, let's say, Mediterranean Sea, then we have Aegean Sea, then we have Sea of Marmara, Black Sea, and Sea of Azov. How many seas? Mediterranean Sea, Aegean Sea, then Sea of Marmara, Black Sea, Sea of Azov. Okay, means south to north or north to south, you need to remember them this way. Okay, and between each seas there is a strait also. Okay, so to identify these strait, what you can use Google Earth. We generally use Google Earth to locate any specific location, and then in your notebook, right, write down the straits that come. Okay, because this Mediterranean Sea is in news for another reason. Okay, I mean, like, you know, today in the last article we are going to discuss about this Mediterranean Sea also. It, like, around 22 countries surround Mediterranean Sea, and this is one of the most important sea also. Okay, we are going to discuss about it. So this is what we wanted to discuss. I mean, like, you should know the location, you should know the number of countries, name of countries that surround a sea, and also if there are any strait, you need to remember the name of those straits also. Okay, so with this, let us quickly move to the next topic. Okay, let us go to the first topic for the day. Yes.
Annexation and accession.
Okay, so like one of the students, Chirag, has asked a question that what is the difference, right? What is the difference between annexation and accession? Like this, right? What is the difference? See, when we talk about annexation means using forceful means. Okay, using forceful means to acquire a territory. Okay, to acquire a territory. And accession means using diplomacy and contract to acquire a territory. I'll give you an example. For example, Russia has annexed Crimea. Okay, like we'll write examples also. Russia annexed what? Crimea or Crimean Peninsula. in 2014. Okay, Russia has annexed. So Russia, when Russia has annexed, so it has used forceful means like it has sent its troops and they have captured that particular area. In many cases, the annexation may be illegal also under international law. Under international law, there are various ways how a new state can be born, how different states can be acquired, right? So this is one of the way in which other states can be acquired and made a part of your own territory. But this is means you are using forceful means. So Russia has used forceful means. Now if I talk about this particular thing, if I give the example of, let's say, like India, or let's say for example Jammu and Kashmir has signed what? Instrument of accession to join the Union of India. Okay, so Union of India has accessed the territory of Jammu and Kashmir using free will of the, let's say, ruler of Jammu and Kashmir. So they use diplomacy and they use contract. I mean, like they have drafted, they have signed proper contract. They have taken, let's say, long time to negotiate about Article 370 that time. So that is accession. Accession means you're willfully joining, right? Annexation means somebody is acquiring you forcefully. That's the thing. This is the basic difference.
So sir, police I think police take direct action at that point of time to access the Gunagar district. Gunagar territory. So sir, will you call it accession or annexation? Because
it can be considered as an annexation. However, that is a very small territory, and let's say, like it was, let's say, entire India, and there was, let's say, a small territory here, Junagadh. Okay, so it has not received much international attention also. Had it been under a control of some foreign authority, that in that case we would have called it to be annexation. Not we, other parties, because in international relations, international law, it is the term that we give. Like we don't say it like we have annexed. We say we have done police action. Why police action? Because, like it was, I mean, like we wanted to give it a name that, like that we have done it, I mean, like in a peaceful manner, like that. However, not police, I mean, like we have sent military and all. Okay, so that's the thing, it happens. Okay, so with this, let us quickly move to the next topic. So this is the first topic that we are going to discuss. It says disentangling the 2030 global renewable energy target. Okay, why this topic is important? It is important for 2-3 reasons. One of the reason is recently concluded G20 summit. Other reason is related to the next, right, next summit that is going to happen, related to Conference of Parties 28 of the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. Okay, and one of the most important aspects that we are going to discuss is related to tripling the renewable energy capacity. Okay, tripling the renewable energy capacity. These are important things of this particular topic. Okay, so let's discuss about this topic. So name of the topic is disentangling what? Disentangling the 2030 global renewable energy target. Global renewable energy target. So before we go into detail about it, let us understand what do we mean by disentangling. Okay, disentangling. Basically, let's say if we have some ropes, okay, if we have some ropes, if these ropes get entangled with one another, okay, let's say, like they got entangled. Now you want to organize them. So you want to disentangle them, means like you want to organize them. Let's say you brought it in this fashion, brought them in this fashion. So what you're doing, earlier it was complex. What? Now you are making it simple. Now you are making it simple. So something that got entangled, you want to disentangle it. So that is the meaning of disentanglement, means like making it simple. Okay, so it says simplifying the 2030 global renewable energy target. Okay, so we are talking about 2030 global renewable energy target. Okay, 2030 global renewable energy targets. Again, we need to understand another concept. What is this concept? This concept is related to renewable energy. We want to understand what is renewable energy. Okay, what is renewable energy? So renewable energy are all those forms of energy that can be renewed, that can be replenished. For example, examples of these energy can be, let's say, solar energy. Okay, solar energy means if you have solar rooftop, if you have solar cells, if you have solar panel, the moment you receive sunlight, it is going to get charged. You are going to get energy from it. Again, next day, whenever there will be sunlight, it will get charged. So it is renewed every time. Okay, you don't need to put additional effort for it. So solar energy is an example. If I talk about hydroelectricity, okay, hydroelectricity, that's also an example of renewable energy. If we talk about geothermal energy, okay, if we talk about geothermal energy, so that's an example of renewable energy. If we talk about wind energy, what? Wind energy. So that will also be considered to be a renewable source of energy. Okay, so like there can be many more examples like this. So they are renewable energy. And why the world wants to move towards renewable source of energy? Because the fossil fuel based energy that we are currently using, so it is causing many problems. Okay, so let's discuss about what are fossil fuel based energy. Okay, what are fossil fuel based energy? Okay, so we know, like, anything, the petroleum. Okay, examples of these things can be the petroleum, coal, or let's say diesel, etc., or the gases that we generate from it. Okay, so they are examples of fossil fuel based energy. And these fossil fuel based energy, so most there is a comparison also between renewable and non-renewable. So these fossil fuel based energy are considered to be non-renewable sources of energy. What? They are considered to be non-renewable sources of energy. Why non-renewable? Because you are depleting the, let's say, fossil from the earth, from the ground of the earth. You are taking it away. After some time, they will get exhausted. So that's why they are non-renewable sources of energy. One thing is, like, the more you are using, the more you are depleting, right, it of energy sources. That is one thing. Apart from this, the usage, okay, the usage of fossil fuel energy, right, usage leads to, okay, usage of fossil fuels lead to what? It leads to, okay, its usage leads to what? Greenhouse gas emissions, GHG emissions. Greenhouse gas emission means it leads to emission of carbon dioxide that actually causes the global warming. Okay, it leads to means it is a source of global warming. And what we want to do? We want to control the global warming, right? We want to control the global warming. And how we can control the global warming? By reducing the usage of fossil fuels, right? And by moving towards renewable sources of energy. Okay, so the thing is, different countries across the world, they have adopted a target. What target? That we want to move towards greener sources of energy. We want to move towards renewable sources of energy. And for that matter, what has happened, like if we talk about 2030 global renewable energy target, okay, if we talk about 2030 global renewable energy targets, so who have, let's say, talked about these targets? One of the thing is, the G20 declaration, the New Delhi leader declaration that we had, In G20, we have talked about, let's say we have talked about tripling the use of, or tripling the let's say use of renewable sources of energy, okay, renewable energy by 2030. So this is one forum where we discussed that we want to increase the utilization of renewable sources of energy. Second forum where we talked about this thing is like, recently, like, 28th conference of parties is going to happen. This conference of parties related to United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, okay, UNFCCC, okay, United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. It's going to happen in Dubai, okay, it's going to happen in Dubai. Where is Dubai located? United Arab Emirates, okay, it's going to happen there. And they have also talked about the same goal. They also want to triple the use of renewable energy, okay, by 2030. And apart from this, there is another forum where they have talked about this particular thing, and that is known as the International Renewable Energy Agency, okay. So there is an agency which is known as IRENA, International Renewable Energy Agency. They have also released a report, and in that report they have talked about that we need to triple the use of renewable energy. That's the thing. And how, like, why all the countries across the world are doing about this particular thing? Because most of the countries across the world, they have taken a target, they have adopted, they have signed what? The Paris Agreement, okay. Most of the countries across the world, they have signed the Paris Agreement, okay. They have signed the Paris Agreement. So this Paris Agreement has been signed by these countries in 2015, and 196 countries have signed this particular thing, Paris Agreement. And they have signed this thing, and it is a legally binding treaty. It is a legally binding international instrument or agreement, okay, legally binding. So under this, what they want to do? They want to reduce the let's say global temperature rise below 2 degrees centigrade as compared to pre-industrial level, right? And if possible, they want to reduce it to, let's say, 1.5 degrees centigrade below the pre-industrial level. So that's the target of Paris Agreement. And under Paris Agreement also there is global stocktake report, okay, means a report is let's say released every 5 years. This is known as global stocktake report, and this global stocktake report talks about those countries that have made some progress, okay. It also says like which country was not able to make progress. So these countries have to showcase like what progress they are making, and for that purpose, under Paris Agreement, different countries release nationally determined contributions. These are known as intended nationally determined contributions, means the countries like what contribution they want to make towards the, let's say making the planet cooler. I mean, like, it is like global warming is happening. Global warming happens because of those gases that trap what? That trap, let's say temperature, that traps greenhouse gases, okay, that trap, let's say temperature raising kind of thing. So that's the thing. So carbon dioxide is the gas, and the concentration of the carbon dioxide is increasing in the atmosphere, okay, its concentration is increasing in the atmosphere. That's the thing. So this is important, okay. So in this article, what they have discussed that out of all the renewable energy, right, so they have talked about a report. In that report they have said in 2021 39% of all the energy needs were met by renewable energies. 39%, I think, okay. So it is 39% of total energy capacity of all sources was met through renewable energy sources, okay. It is met through renewable energy sources. And now out of these things, geothermal energy, I mean geothermal, or they have mentioned a source of energy like hydropower, okay, hydropower or hydroelectricity. This accounted more than 50%, okay, it accounted more than 50% of the total renewable energy capacity. Then out of this, I mean, like, you know, 12 to 13% is that of solar energy. Okay, solar energy. Although in this article they have not discussed about it, so I'm mentioning we have one sun, one world, one sun, one world, one grid initiative. This initiative was taken by the government of India, by the Prime Minister of India. So he said, like, we have just one sun, we have one world, and we want to create one grid so that, like, you know, we can share the energy that we are generating from solar power. So one sun, one world, one grid initiative is for harnessing solar energy. Okay, it is for harnessing what? Solar energy. And solar energy is also a renewable source of energy. Apart from this, we have also launched International Solar Alliance. Okay, means like we were the founding members of the International Solar Alliance. So all these initiatives that we are taking together, these initiatives actually are helping the India, or these are helping the government of India in achieving the Paris Agreement thing. Okay, Paris Agreement, like, you know, because it is a legally binding treaty, so we need to adopt them, we need to achieve them. That's the thing. Is this understood? So that's why the author finally says that at COP28, developing countries should consider the target only if the North commits to equitable absolute targets domestically. Means, like, you know, there is a like, you know, there is a saying in international let's say area, that those countries that are lying in the northern hemisphere and those countries that are lying in the southern hemisphere. So southern hemisphere countries are mostly developing countries. Okay, they are mostly developing countries, and northern hemisphere countries are mostly developed countries. Okay, they are mostly developed countries generally. Okay, it is not the case for every case, but generally. And these countries have developed at the cost of polluting the environment. So they do have a responsibility to help the developing countries. Okay, they have a responsibility to help the developing countries in their path of achieving, right, renewable energy target. And how they can help? They can help through different ways. One of the ways is sharing the know-how. Okay, sharing the know-how, I mean, like, you know, how to go for alternative sources of energy. Second thing is by funding. Okay, they can fund the developmental projects in these countries, I mean, like, you know, to adopt alternate sources of energy. That's the thing. So in this article they have mentioned that those developed countries who have their historical responsibility of doing it, they have not committed. I mean, these countries have not committed that we want to achieve this target or that target. So in this article they have mentioned about Joe Biden. I mean, like, Prime Minister of India has made a commitment that we want to do this thing. However, the President of United States of America, he did not make the promise. So here in this article the author has said that the developing countries, right, these developing countries should commit to something only when the developed countries commit, right, in the conference of parties in COP, in conference of party 28, that's going to happen in Dubai. So these countries should commit first what they want to do, only then developing countries should commit. I mean, like, this author is giving a strategy, okay, for the like developing countries for it. Okay, so having understood this topic, let us now move to a question. So we are going to solve this question. It says, okay, it says, consider the following statements. Solar power installed capacity has increased 25 times since 2014. Okay, 25 or 2.5 times, I think. Okay, this is right actually. India stands fourth globally in renewable energy installed capacity. Third, 40% of the total installed electricity generating capacity achieved from non-fossil fuel sources. Okay, means, like, fossil fuel sources means coal based power plant. Non-fossil fuel based sources means, like, you know, using nuclear power, using, let's say, solar power, using wind power, right, using hydroelectricity, like that. Okay, so that's the thing. So all of them are correct. Correct answer for this question is option 3. I mean, like, you know, option C, all the 3. We have given explanation also to this question. You can go through the detail, right, in your free time. Okay, so with this we move to next topic. This topic is also important. It says, changing the way the postman knocks. This topic is related to one bill that the present government has, let's say, like introduced in the parliament. So name of that bill is Post Office Bill 2023. So the government has introduced Post Office Bill 2023. Earlier, the post offices were governed through an act. Name of that act is Indian Post Office Act 1898. Okay, Indian Post Office Act 1898. So this act has been in place, and through this act, like, you know, we have made the postal system to be one of the backbone of the country. Means that time when we did not have mobile phones, when we did not have phones, we were using the postal channel to send our, let's say, like, you know, like letters that we write to our relatives. Okay, so that's the thing. But this postal offices, postal services have been performing really well. But now the government of India has thought of, let's say, like, you know, giving them more teeth, in the sense, like, you know, making them more, let's say, people centric, giving more services to the citizens. For that purpose, the government of India has introduced the Post Offices Bill. And this bill is going to, earlier, like, let's say, like, if the post offices, I mean, like the Director General of the Postal Services, if he wanted to take any decision, first of all, he needed the prior approval from the central government. So that was acting as a bottleneck, I mean, like, you know, for doing any kind of reforms into the postal system. But now that, now through this bill, they are going to bring a reform where the, you know, Director General of Postal Services, means like Director General of Postal Services, he can make regulations related to activities for reforming the system himself. So it is going to enable this particular thing to do more. And if I talk about India Post, or like, you know, Indian Post, so we have an organization which is India Post. I mean, like, this is the government channel. Earlier, the government of India was sending all its letters through the India Post thing. Now also it is doing. However, if we talk about in the private sector, in this sector, I mean, like, you know, like if we talk about total contribution of India Post into the postal services sector in India, it has 15% share. 85% of the share is with the private sector. And why it is with the private sector? Because the government of India has earlier, right, they have earlier, let's say, reformed it. They have allowed the private sector also to participate. Now we have DTDC, we have Delivery, we have many other postal services that are functioning at this point of time. Okay, so the government of India has come up with the post office bill. Why? To reform this particular sector. Okay, the postal sector, not the postal sector in itself, but like, you know, the India Post, right, as an organization, for reforming this particular sector. And also in this article, they have mentioned that the government of India, I mean, like, you know, it can open the letters, it can see like what is there, not letters, the parcels that are being sent. Why? Because so that they can intercept if any drug is being smuggled or not. So that provision has been retained in this particular bill. So they have mentioned. Okay, so this is related to postal services itself. Okay, postal, like India Post and all. So this article has been written, like, you know, in a narrow perspective from this topic itself, but like it's a good topic to note. Then we have another topic. This topic says the travails of gig workers. Okay, now we need to understand what do we mean by this travails. Okay, the travails of the gig workers, So travails means the pain, I mean, like pain of doing job. I mean, like if you are doing a job which is painful, okay, means like a job which is painful, okay, painful job, or let's say hardships. Okay, so these are the meaning of the word travails. Okay, so the hardships of the gig workers, I mean, like we can reread it as hardships of the gig workers. And we need to understand what do we mean by gig workers. For that, let us quickly understand this topic. Name of the topic is the travails of gig workers. Now let us understand who are gig workers. It is also important for us to understand who are gig workers. all those people who are working as, let's say, like, drivers in companies like, okay, drivers in companies like Ola, Uber, etc. So they are gig workers. And people who are doing food delivery, okay, food delivery boys or girls, I mean, like, who are doing, for example, people are doing it with Zomato. There is other also, what? Swiggy, Food Panda, etc. Maybe, right? So these are the people who are considered to be gig workers. So if we talk about definition of the gig workers, these workers are also known as platform workers. Okay, they are known as platform workers. Why platform workers? Because they are working for a platform. They are working for an online platform. Okay, platform name I have mentioned, Ola, Uber and all. So those companies who are employing these gig workers, they are known as aggregators. Okay, they are known as aggregators. Okay, aggregators are, example of aggregator would be Ola, Uber, Swiggy, Zomato. So they are aggregators. Now we need to understand, is there employee-employer relationship exists between them? Do we have any employee-employer relationship between them? So the thing is, by definition itself, there is no employee-employer relationship between them. Okay, there is no employee-employer relationship between them. Okay, relationship between them. Why this employee-employer relationship is not there between them? Because these people, the drivers, food delivery boys, they are considered as partners by these companies. Which companies? Ola, Uber, Swiggy, Zomato. They consider them to be partners, that like you are our partner and like you are working for us, like, with us, and we are paying you commission for the work that you are doing. So since no employee-employer relationship is existing between them, because of the nature of contract that they have signed. Okay, initially, let's say I want to become a Uber driver or Ola driver. So I need to have my own vehicle, or I need to take a vehicle on rent. I will be paying for the fuel. And if I drive, right, if I take a customer, if I drive, only then I will be paid some commission along with the, let's say, like, I will be paid the amount by the customer and I have to give some commission to the company, like that. Okay. So employee-employer relationship is not existing. So that's why the gig workers, okay, that's why the gig workers do not get, okay, do not get any social security. Okay, they do not have any kind of social security. Okay, they do not have any social security. Social security in the sense, they do not have any, let's say, pension, they do not have any insurance, they do not get any PF, provident fund. So nothing is there for them. Okay, in some cases they do have accidental insurance, but like, they take it as part of the vehicle. If they purchase a vehicle, तो vehicle का वो है, मतलब, but these aggregators are not giving any benefit to them. So these aggregators are considering these workers to be their partners. However, there lies a huge difference in partnership. We know what do we mean by partnership forms. In partnership forms, if 2 or 3 people are partners, so they share the risk, they share the benefits also. But in this case, I mean, like, these like drivers, they are in no match with the companies. The big companies are like, they have a turnover of thousands of crore rupees per year, but these people do not have. So in this article, what they have done, I mean, like, there is an organization that has conducted a survey. Okay, this organization has conducted a survey. So name of the organization is mentioned over here. The, I mean, like, page is not clear because I just clicked a picture of it. So this is National Council of Applied Economic Research. Okay, so this National Council on Applied Economic Research, what they have done, they have conducted a survey of all those people who are working as gig workers with these platforms. And after doing survey, they tried to understand that what is the nature of work that they are doing, how many percentage of people are educated who are doing work in the gig workers. So they say around third of the people, 1/3 of the people are graduate people who are doing these works. And I mean, these people are getting very less pay as compared to, let's say, what other people from other sector would be getting. These people do not have any social security. So they mention so many things, and to do this job, what are the job requirements? They need a vehicle, they need a smartphone, they need a toolkit. All of these things are mentioned. Okay. So in this article, they have, let's say, they have mentioned all of these things. They have given around 11 charts. So you can go through these charts, you will understand it quickly. Okay. So perceptions about delivery means if you have to do delivery, how much time do you have to wait? Okay. So what are the reasons? So they have asked multiple questions. And so this survey was conducted. So we needed to understand some important concepts from these topics. That's why. Now let us take this question. It says, with reference to the gig economy, consider the following statements. Gig economy means an economy where people are working as gig workers and platform aggregators are getting benefit out of it. So it says it is outside the traditional employer-employee arrangement. This is true. Okay. Second, it is a closed market system having independent workers for short-term engagement. This is not closed market, this is open market system. Okay, this is open market system. Okay, open market system having independent workers for short-term engagement. There are independent workers, but they are short-term. I mean, some people are working for 5 hours a day, some people are working for 10 hours a day, some people are working for 3 days in a week, some people are working for 6 days in a week, like this. So which of the above statements are correct? Only one. Okay, only first statement is correct in this case. So Rutu Mane has joined. So good evening, thank you so much. Now, so explanation is given over here. First is right, second is wrong. I have already explained about it. You can go through the explanation in your free time also. Then we have another topic. This topic is important. It says broadening the field. Okay, broadening the field. This topic is related to science and technology. Okay, this is related to science and technology, and it is especially related to, let's say, some awards that are being given to scientists. Name of the award is known as Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar Prize. Okay, this Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar Prize, okay, in short it is known as SSB, Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar Prize. It is given to acclaimed scientists in India for their exceptional work in the field of science and technology that has the potential of, let's say, improving the knowledge in the field of science and technology and advancing our science and technology related things in the country. So this is given to Indian citizens for their contribution in the field of science and technology, and this is considered to be similar to Nobel Prize. Nobel Prize is a very big thing. It's not that big, but it can be considered as Indian Nobel. However, this organization, which is known as Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, this council actually gives these prize to the scientists. However, last year they did not give this prize, okay, to people. This year they have given the prize. Okay, this year, I mean, they have decided to give it, right? However, in future they will be giving, but earlier the government of India has stopped them from giving. They say we are already giving many prizes to scientists through different means. There are many ministries who are associated. So that has been discouraged earlier, but this time they are again going to give these prizes to, let's say, the scientists. So in this article they have mentioned about it, what is the significance of this thing. If we give Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar Prize or similar, let's say, prizes to the scientist, what it does, it boosts the morale of those people who are working in this field, and also it encourages other people also to take up work in the field of science and technology, to take up, let's say, their career path towards this particular thing. So with that reference, this is important. In this article they have also mentioned that they have identified 12 winners, and all the 12 of them are males, and 11 of them belong to, let's say, like, Indian Institute of Technology, means like, centrally funded technical institutions. Okay, so they say there should be share from state universities also. There may be many women scientists also who have been unrecognized, so they should also be recognized to make it truly, let's say, like, encompassing prize. Okay, so this is what they have mentioned in this article. So this is a good topic. Okay, so like we understand about Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar prize. Now we have another topic. It says Supreme Court information a click away to join as it joins the National Judicial Data Grid. Okay, so this topic is related to this National Judicial Data Grid. Okay, National Judicial Data Grid. National Judicial Data Grid. So what is this National Judicial Data Grid? It's a kind of, let's say, you can consider it to be a portal. Okay, it can be considered as a portal. So this National Judicial Data Grid has, let's say, like, presence of district courts, right? Presence of district courts. Then it has presence of high courts. Okay, means like, district courts are there, then high court is there, and even Supreme Court has now joined. Supreme Court of India has joined. So you can get your case registered over here. You can track your application. You can track about a decision being taken. All the thing will be transparently available through this portal. So this is going to be a game changer in boosting the transparency in which, the judicial system works. And also it empowers the e-governance applications. Okay, so this is related to governance. Okay, so I mean, like, it boosts e-governance. Okay, mean it facilitates citizens to get information, on a real-time basis with lesser, let's say, like, hurdles. That's the thing. So in this article they have mentioned about it, and recently the Chief Justice of India has discussed about it in an open court, that we have joined the National Judicial Data Grid and all. Okay, so this is an important thing. It is like, National Judicial Data Grid can be considered as an e-governance application. Okay, so with this we have another topic. It says this Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana. Okay, this Yojana is known as Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana. Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana. This is important. Okay, so I'm writing Pradhan Mantri. Okay, Matsya Sampada Yojana. What is this? Like, it is a government scheme basically. This government scheme is to boost blue economy. Okay, this is to boost blue economy. So now we need to understand what do we mean by blue economy. Blue economy means the economy that is related to fisheries and fishing activities. Okay, fisheries and fishing activities means the activities that we do in ocean. Okay, basically for the oceanic resources that we get. So this scheme has been launched by the Prime Minister of India in 2020, soon after COVID-19. Okay, soon after or before. So that time they wanted to boost it. The Prime Minister of India has seen potential in this sector. Which sector? Fisheries sector. So Government of India has given, let's say, like, some, what we say, boost to this sector through allocation of fund. Okay, so allocation of fund has been done under Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana. This article has been written by a minister, okay, a politician. So he has praised the party that, like, this has been done for this thing. But however, they have given, let's say, like, an Atmanirbhar Bharat package. Okay, Atmanirbhar Bharat package for fishery sector, and it has been allocated 20,050 crore rupees. Okay, so that's a good thing. So this is like, we need to understand that the potential of this sector, and this sector is important. It's a part of Indian economy. Okay, the blue economy. So India is now counted among the world's top 3 countries in fish and aquaculture production. Okay, this is what the author is saying. So yeah, fisheries, allied sector and agriculture, right? Okay, so this is the thing. So this topic is good. So with this, let us quickly move to another topic, and like we have a question also on this topic. Let's solve this question. Recently seen in the news, the term Lawrence curve refers to. Okay, this is a question from economy, basically broadly economy. Okay, so I have not taken that topic. So it says recently seen in the news, the term Lawrence curve refers to. It is a graphical representation of income distribution in a society. Okay, it is a graphical representation of income distribution in a society. So we can discuss it at a later date, maybe in detail. However, let us understand what is Lawrence curve. So this is a Lawrence curve that we see to the right side of the image. It says, like on one axis, on one of the axes, it says percentage of household by income distribution. Okay, then cumulative share of income percentage. Okay, means like, you know, how the income is distributed among different households in a society, and like, you know, cumulative share of the income, how the income is shared by different groups. So this line of equality means low income group, middle income group, high income group. So the thing is, like, you know, equality means where income is distributed equally among all people in the society. So that's never going to be the case in India. So Lawrence curve is like this. Okay, so it's tilted. Okay, so here they have discussed about what is Lawrence curve. So the emergence of India as an economic powerhouse, notwithstanding growth, has failed to trickle down to marginalized sections, rendering inclusive growth a major concern. So basically it talks about that if we have more tapering, I mean, like the more this curve is away from the line of equality, it showcases that there is more inequality in the society. Okay, more inequality in terms of income inequality. Okay, the more this curve approaches, let's say this curve becomes like this, so income inequality reduces. If it approaches here, the income inequality further reduces. If it goes over here, so income inequality means like increases. I mean, like, you know, top people earns more, lower people earns very less. Okay, in India we have recently seen 75% of the people cannot afford a healthy diet. Okay, so inequality is very high in India. Okay, that's the thing. So Lawrence curve is a graphical representation of distribution of income or wealth within a population. Okay, Lawrence curve graph percentiles of the population against cumulative income or wealth of the people at below that percentile, like that. Okay, so this is a technical thing, but like we need to understand that Lawrence curve is showcases about income inequality in a society. It also talks about inclusive growth. Okay, the lesser the curve, we will be having more inclusive growth. The more it is curved, so we will be having lesser inclusive growth, like that. Then we have another topic. It says all reported births, deaths to be digitally registered from October 1. So recently the government of India has, let's say, like made some modification into the way the registration will happen. They have, let's say, passed a bill through the Parliament of India related to Registrar General of India. Okay, Registrar General of India. So this Registrar General of India, he is a person working at the central government level. He holds an office, and under his office, I mean, like, you know, all the registrations of birth and death happens in the country. I mean, like in the country, there are different states. In those states, like, you know, there are branches of this thing, Registrar General of India, at the state level, also at the district level. So all the births and deaths that are going to happen, that are going to get recorded, it is going to happen under Registrar General of India. So they say, like, you know, all reported births and deaths in the country will be digitally registered in the Central's portal from October 1. Okay, so the government of India has passed this particular act recently, which is known as the Registration of Births and Deaths Amendment Act 2023. That paves the way for digital birth certificates will come into effect from this thing. Okay, so digital birth certificate can be issued like this, and this thing is also helpful. And now they have said that if you want to register a birth of a child, so Aadhaar card of the parents will be needed. Okay, Aadhaar cards of the parent will be needed, right, to register birth. And to register death, the Aadhaar card of the deceased person will be needed, like that, okay, or the Aadhaar person of the closest relative will be needed in that case. And they say that this is also going to be helpful in this national population of registers, okay. So this is going to help the government in creating a centralized database of the national population register, ration cards, property registration, and electoral rolls and all. So that's the thing. And the government of India has already started conducting census, the exercise of taking data from users long back in 2010 itself, okay. And they have updated in 2015 through door-to-door enumeration. And so what has happened, like they have already taken data of 119 crore people, right? And now they need to just update that system. So they will be creating national population register, and maybe that may be later used as national register of citizens, so NRC we do have in the state of Assam. So they want to do it at the national level, okay. So this is for population survey, and it will also be used for citizenship purposes. And citizenship is mentioned from article number 5 to 11 of the Constitution of India, okay. That's the thing. Then we have another topic. This is going to be the last topic for the day, right? It says global aid effort intensifies for flood battered Libya. So recently a flood, tsunami like flood came. This is known as flash flood. All of a sudden that flood came, and it has killed around 4,000 people. How many people? Around 4,000 people have been killed in Libya. And why these people have been killed? Because of many reasons. One thing is, like, in that country there is a civil war that is going on. People are struggling for getting power. So law and order system is not normal in this particular country. Since law and order system is not normal, most of the authorities are not functioning. Means, like, in India we have a stable government, we have, let's say, stable system that is working. We do have early warning system also. What? We have early warning system in India. So the thing is that early warning system is able to warn you at least 24 hours before a major natural calamity happens. So recently the cyclone or some Biparjoy came in Gujarat coast. None of the person has died, and this is because of the early warning system. People have been warned in advance, so people got evacuated, okay. But here no early warning system was functioning. That's why the moment flash flood came, people were washed away. Houses got ruined, and it has killed many people. And recently one of the official from the United Nations, he has blamed, right, he has blamed this particular country because of the legacy of years of war and chaos in the country. Because there is war and chaos that is there, so they do not have early warning system, they do not have things in place, and that's why they were not able to save people. That's the thing, okay. So this is related to disaster management. So that's why it is important to have a meteorological organization in your country, okay, that can warn you in advance. So here, related to this, name of the country that is mentioned is Libya. So where is Libya located? Libya is located in Africa, in North Africa. So now let us see Libya. So this is Libya. This is the location of Libya. So Libya is located in North Africa here, okay. So this is the northernmost country, we can say. Although these countries, they are expanding. So Libya has a coastal boundary with Mediterranean Sea, and we have seen Black Sea also, Sea of Marmara, Sea of Azov, like that. So Mediterranean Sea was lower and other seas were above. For example, this is Mediterranean Sea and this is Black Sea, we see, right? So that's the thing why we have taken this map, so that you can understand where is Libya located and with how many countries does it share border. It shares border with how many countries? This is one of the country, which is Tunisia, then it is Algeria, then we have Niger, we have Chad, we have Egypt, right? So these are the countries with which it is sharing border. Tunisia is one of the country, this Algeria is second, then we have Niger third, we have Chad fourth, then we have Libya, like, you know, this country is also share. Sudan, 5th, okay. Then Egypt, 6th. So these are the countries that share border with Libya, 6 countries. Then it has coastal borders with Mediterranean Sea, okay. This is important. And so where is Mediterranean Sea located? This is Mediterranean Sea. We have already seen Black Sea today. And this strait is known as Bosphorus Strait. In the beginning, we discussed about a strait now between Black Sea and Aegean Sea. This is Bosphorus Strait. And here we have Kerch Strait, Black Sea and Sea of Azov. Okay, that's the thing. So you need to remember these things in your free time so that, like, you can, let's say, score more marks in prelims exam. So that's all from my side for the day. Thank you so much everyone for joining today's session. I hope you have a good day ahead. And also keep participating through comment section. That also, like, you know, helps us understand that you are attending it online. Thank you. Yeah.